Welcome to the Hypnotics. I'm Alex, that's Lida. Today we are doing a video together. We haven't done one together in a while, but we are going to basically recall and kind of like a failed vlog. Because we were kind of vlogging it, but we suck at vlogging.
Well, it didn't work out for a number of reasons, which we'll explain.
Right, but we got a new car. We got a new EV. We got the 2022 Polestar 2. And we got the dual motor one, by the way. And we decided to get it delivered to us instead of going to Volvo.
Space.
You don't pick it up at the space.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
See, this is where we wanted to talk about it because we learned a lot about Polestar and how they deliver things, but they don't deliver it to the space. So Lida got that wrong right there, even though she was the one who found out. But anyway, so we just wanted to go through our experience with this Polestar 2 delivery and Polestar in general as a company. We're not going to review the car today. We're not going to go in depth about performance and all that stuff. We'll do that in future videos. But today is simply about our delivery experience. Showing some clips of us the day of, talking about what the heck happened.
Yep. It was a whole day thing.
It was a whole day thing for us. And, yeah. And if you want a comparison for a delivery day for an EV from Tesla, hit that button up there because we did a delivery video about that, and that was bizarre. One of the most bizarre delivery experiences of all time. This might actually beat that.
We've had
Maybe
really
not.
Strange delivery experiences.
Very strange. Very strange. Well, EV-wise, these two have been very peculiar. So let's just jump right into this. Basically, we ordered a 2022 Polestar 2 in what was it? What month were we? November. Right? In like early mid-November or something like that. Early November. And then within a day, we had a car at the port that was assigned to us. And we proceeded, and within a week, well, not even a week, we decided to hold it off for a week because we had to work. We could have got the car the next day or the day after that. But we actually decided to get it on the weekend and have them actually bring the car out. The other option was for us to drive out to pick up the car at our, well, not our local Volvo, but the local Volvo to that Polestar space.
So the weird thing is you could live near a space, but when you pick up your vehicle, it's not that you pick it up from that space. Volvo actually partners with Polestar so that you can pick up and service your vehicle from a designated Volvo near your space.
Right. So in our case, our space that we got the car from, or we made the purchase from, was Los Angeles's Polestar space. And they are under the Galpin Volvo, which is Galpin is one of the biggest Volvo dealerships in LA County. And the Polestars get serviced and also picked up at that Galpin Volvo. And we had no idea about any of this. We actually thought this was more, I was always under the impression from everything in the media and everything that we've seen without the fine print that Polestar was non-dealership, and that we thought it was like a Tesla model where you purchase it online and then you pick it up in delivery.
Yeah, and that service was just done, through the space or whatnot.
Through a Polestar. But if you read the fine print, Polestar actually, their space is strictly for display purposes. The employees don't even work out of that space 90% of the time. We actually talked with our rep and we found out a lot about Polestar and how the company works. So Polestar, unlike Tesla, do have dealerships. They are under a dealership model. Yes, they're trying to imitate Tesla in a way where you order the car, but they are still privately owned, unlike Tesla, where, Elon Musk basically decides the prices of the cars and they franchise it. They don't franchise it out. Ford, everybody else, you can franchise it out to people, and people buy dealerships, and that's where you get all these markups and stuff.
The good thing is that when you purchase or when you're in the process of purchasing a Polestar, you are assigned to one person. So our designated person was not a Polestar employee, or was she a Polestar employee?
She worked for Polestar. We originally thought she worked for Polestar, but when she came, it was a Galpin Volvo card, and we were like, wait a second, I thought Polestar had Polestar employees, and she's actually from Volvo, the Galpin Volvo. So this was shocking to us. We were always under the impression that she was from Polestar and that we were purchasing the car from Polestar, but when we came and signed all the paperwork, everything was from Gulpin Volvo, including the business cards, including the contracts, the financing, everything is from Gulpin Volvo. So we were under the impression that Volvo and Polestar were two separate entities, and then we're buying the car from Polestar on the internet at one price, etc. That wasn't what happened. That actually was not what happened. Tell them about the pricing of the Polestar 2.
Well, first off, the pricing on the website is different depending on where you are in the configuration stage versus when you're actually purchasing the car. So keep in mind that when you are in the process of buying a Polestar, what you see initially when you put down deposit might not be what you're paying for.
Well, that's normal for any car dealership because they don't put it in the tax, and especially if EVs, they do this whole like money final total after savings, which nobody should do that. It should be total. But what I meant was, even though Polestar, we were under the impression it's one price only at each space, that was not the case. The first time around, we were looking at Polestar. That's what I'm trying to imply here.
Okay.
It's a dealership model still.
Yes.
And why was that? Lida had this
So
experience.
we technically live smack in between two different Polestar-based spaces, Los Angeles and Orange County. And originally, our deposit was at Orange County, but I had actually reached out to the Los Angeles space and had asked them, what vehicles that they had in inventory already. And at that time, our representative from the Los Angeles space actually said, hey, we'll give you an additional $2,000 off the car, which Orange County didn't do.
Well, no, so there was an incentive for a period of time for that month where Polestar was giving $2,000 off 2021 models. Our rep at the Orange County space, which honestly, there's only one person working at each space. It seems like that. Yeah. And their hours are very irregular. It doesn't even seem like anybody's working most of the time.
Very hard to get a hold of them sometimes.
It's worse than Tesla.
Yeah.
And Tesla's notoriously bad. We had a very difficult time getting in touch with our Tesla rep when we were trying to get our car 3 years ago. But this time around, it was even more bizarre. That's why we went with the LA space, because the LA rep actually kept getting back to us. But the LA rep gave us $2,000 off a 2022 model, whereas the Orange County rep said that Polestar space is not real. They're not doing it right. They're not supposed to give you a discount on the car, period. So we were like, well, if one Polestar space is, and we have the paperwork, is going to give us that price, and this Polestar space is going to give us this price, what the heck are we doing getting it from another car? This is just like a damn dealership that we're trying not to go through. Like Ford is gouging the Mach-E right now, and the Bronco, and all these in ADMs on it.
And it was so frustrating because we wanted to buy a Polestar for the simplicity of purchasing it, right?
So it was very confusing, and this is exactly what Tesla and everybody else in the EV industry supposedly wanted to get away from, and that's what we thought Polestar was. That wasn't the case. So that was already bizarre. That one space was telling us that the other space is doing something different. They shouldn't be doing that, but they're legally obligated. They can do it. Now we found out that it's because it's a dealership model, and that the LA space is owned by one owner, and the Polestar space in Orange County is owned by a different owner, and they can do whatever the hell they want. So that was really bizarre. So we went off the LA space. We decided to get the car a month later, and so we canceled that first deposit in Orange County, and then our second one in LA, we literally got the car within a week. So on delivery day, our process was actually very easy.
It was.
The actual putting your deposit down, going through that, it's actually easier than Tesla. Tesla, there was like many different steps. You got to get all the financing set up and all that stuff. On the Polestar 2 website, it's very similar, but I would actually argue that it's easier to get it done and quicker than on Tesla's website.
It was actually very quick. With Polestar, you can start the financing process ahead of time. So then that way, if you choose to finance through them, so then that way they arrive on delivery day with the paperwork, you sign everything for all the DMV stuff and all that. And then honestly, they kind of just hand you the keys and that's that. Yeah.
And also I wanted to know, unlike Tesla, you can't actually go to a Tesla delivery center and pick up the car. Polestar does not have a delivery center. You have to go to a Volvo dealership to pick up your car, or they deliver it to your home. And now with COVID changing the world, everybody really is just having their cars dropped off every every car manufacturer is basically dropping off cars. So we went with that route, and I highly suggest people look into that. Although our experience, as we're going to get into, wasn't that great. So let's cut into our first clip that we recorded while waiting for the car.
Hello. It is delivery day for our brand new Polestar 2022 Polestar. It is what is it, like 2:56? So it's like 3 o'clock. We should have got the car by now because the car was supposed to come at 1:30. But as you can see, Serena is still looking out the window for the car, waiting for the car, and that one there is knocked out. But yeah, no car yet. This is a reoccurring thing for us. No matter what brand, what thing, it always just delivery day just never ends up well. So we'll see where this goes. They're supposed to come at 5 now, so 4 or 5 hour delay. We'll see.
We literally were waiting, and we had a scheduled time for what, like 2 p.m. or something? I don't even remember the original time.
So originally they were supposed to come at 1:30, 2 o'clock, somewhere around there. They said paperwork would be easy, everything's flexible, all good.
30 minutes max to get done. So we blocked off our day, and we were home at 1:30. We were home the whole morning waiting for the car. We were excited. We were pumped. We got that text or that call saying, hey, you know what? We might not be able to make it at 1:30. Be on standby. Okay. Then we get another text saying, yeah, it's looking more like 4:30 or 5?
4:30 to 5. We were like, okay, that's fine. We'll deal with it. It's just a couple hours.
And then let's check this clip out now.
So what happened now?
Well, our Polestar representative was supposed to come at 1:30. And
we know that. We already had that update. What's going on?
Well, she texted me and she said that she is taking longer than usual with a customer.
Okay, come on.
Well, and then she said that she was going to have
She's not coming anymore.
the car.
Basically, she's saying she's not going to drop the car off anymore. We wasted the whole Saturday. What time is it right now? 3:30. They were supposed to come at 1:30. Or actually, they were supposed to come this morning, and then we already switched it to 1:30. And then now they were supposed to come at 6. It's 3:28. And then they just texted us saying, hey, can we just not come at all today?
Okay, so a couple rounds of these, maybe we'll come later. Oh, you know what? Maybe we're not going to come at all. Can we not come today?
I literally watched the sun set waiting for our car.
Yes. It was very weird that somebody would have an 8-hour delivery from 10 to 5.
It was very
How
bizarre.
How is that possible? Like, I feel really bad for her that she had to deliver the car for 8 hours, but that's not really our problem. You booked us to drop off the car at 1:30. We already waited until like 6 o'clock. And if we didn't say, hey, you really got to drop off the car tonight, because
we wouldn't have gotten it.
We wouldn't have gotten the car because they would have just said, hey, we're not going to bring the car.
Yeah.
So how bizarre is it that there's one person working at Polestar, not only answering calls, also doing your processing, your paperwork, but also that one person drives the car to you.
I won this bet.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's just going to be awkwardly waiting for her Uber on our porch once we pick up delivery of the car.
You mean after she drops off the car?
Yeah, after she drops off the car. Like, is she just going to stand and wait for her?
I don't know. You want to take a bet? I actually don't think she's coming. She's driving the car here.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I've never heard of people driving the car and taking an Uber back. We'll see.
We'll see.
On Reddit, people have said that they drive the car. I've seen that they drive the car. They tow the car here.
Yeah.
But from what you're saying, it sounds like they're driving the car here.
I don't know. I'm under the impression that she's gonna drive here and find a way back to wherever she has to go next.
She's just waiting outside her house.
Yeah.
After dropping off the car.
You saw in that clip, we were betting if it was the same person just dropping the car off to everybody. We literally asked her. She's the only one who does all of it. She picks up the car, drops off the car. She gets her paperwork done.
She also
answers the
manages
phone.
your servicing too.
It
like
is-
if you need to schedule it. It's so
bizarre.
strange.
And same thing with the Orange County one. The what 2.5 weeks we were going through that with that one guy. It was literally one guy, period, in the entire office at all who would respond, send you paperwork, and he decided what days he would work on.
Mhm.
He didn't
And
work
the
on certain
times.
days, and the times. His times were really awkward to get any questions from. Very, very bizarre stuff.
And it's just weird to me how they are supposed to stagger these delivery windows, albeit, according to our rep, that day was an anomaly because of the person that was picking up their car.
Ironically, that happened to a experience for a tech reviewing company or media site that we do tech videos, and we have plenty of experience with delivery videos and EVs. So
That's unfortunate.
that's very unfortunate for Polestar and them that we are making this video discussing, she said, one of the worst delivery days of her entire career, albeit short for her career at Polestar. But still, I mean, I can't even fathom an 8-hour delivery telling the other person that you're delaying them for the entire day, or hey, can I don't come? Okay, so once they got here, they got the paperwork, right? And we had to sign the paperwork and do all that stuff. Very standard affair. That part was actually pretty quick. But the minute they came and dropped off the car, right, we couldn't really inspect the car. It was already dark by that time.
Yep.
And so they didn't give us a walkthrough. They didn't show us any of the functions or features.
There was nothing. It was literally like, sign the papers. Here's your key. We called the lift, 15 minutes into arriving, and that was it.
Yeah. The first thing they did when they got there, hi. And then they came in and we're like, hi. And then took out their phone. Give me 1 second. Let me call the lift. They call it the lift because we made this bet too. We're like, how are they going to get back?
I told you they were going to Uber back.
They're going to Uber back. So that's the protocol. They drop off the car and then they drive the car here and then they Uber back, which is awkward if they don't time it right, because then they're just going to be loitering outside your house for a while, right?
So that's why they probably called the lift like right when they got there.
So that way the clock already starts that 15 to 20 minutes where the Uber needs to come. So the minute she came with her trainee, she brought a trainee from Galpin too. The minute she came, she was like, okay, timer starts. We have 20 minutes before we need to get out of here because our lift is coming. I'm like, this is so bizarre. We did a quick inspection before we signed the paperwork. I literally, because we went through this with Tesla,
We took a flashlight out.
I was like, hey, can I at least take a look at the car first before we sign the paperwork? She was like, okay, sure. So we went around and looked at the car and we were like, what are these holes here? Turns out the toll,
The tow hitch.
yeah, our tow hitch, the plastic cover, the covers on it weren't there. So we were like, oh, what happened to it? She's like, oh, yeah, sorry. We found out that they weren't there. They're missing. We owe you that. We'll write it in on the paperwork. And I was like, okay, I guess that's not that big a deal. She was like, she'll express send it to us once they get it.
FedEx.
Yeah, FedEx us. And it's an easy part. They have it at the port. They can easily get 2 of them. And then I was like, okay. So we checked inside the car. I opened the compartments. And then lo and behold, what did I find?
It was in there.
It was in there.
The glove box.
The glove box. They did not check. They did not see it. They had no idea it was even missing until we told them. They had no idea it was in there until we told them. But that's not even the good part. It's not even where the bizarre, crazy night continues.
They weren't kidding when she wasn't kidding when she said, they were quick. They were quick.
They were quick. They were out by 15 minutes. We waited the whole damn day for 15 minutes. And then they got on and got out of there. After we found out about Galpin, we were talking to them and we discovered, this is where in the beginning of the video, we were talking about the dealership model. And they were like, yeah, it's dealership owned. They're owned by Galpin Volvo. Galpin is their partner, which is their owner. And then Orange County has a different one. That's why their prices are different.
All Galpin wants is just for you guys to go ahead and have a record of the information. So yours is going to be on top.
Okay.
And then, so.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so you're going to initial here. It's very small. Yeah. And then initial on this one. This one. Yes. This one. And then sign where it says the applicant signature.
So they gave us a Galpin Volvo folder with all the information
all
or
of our
whatever. All
paperwork is from
paperwork is
Galpin.
Galpin.
They got my name wrong on one paper.
They got her name wrong. Every single piece of paper was correct except for the DMV paperwork. They spelled her name wrong.
But only on one paper.
On one document, the most important document, the one that goes to the DMV that you use for your registration. Like, I understand if you spelled her name wrong on every single piece of paper, but every single piece of paper was right except for one. It wasn't even close. It wasn't like one letter off. It was completely off.
Albeit, people get my name wrong
all the time.
But it was weird that everything was right except for that one
The
document.
details are so bad. Their attention to detail is so bad. That was already 2 strikes right there. First, they didn't know that the parts of the car were actually inside the car and they thought it was missing, and it wasn't. The second part was the paperwork. Can't even get the name of the, your name of the people you're getting 60 grand from.
But there's more.
There's more. So after they left and we got the car and we're like, okay, this, finally they're gone. They don't even need to give us a tutorial for the car. We are tech reviewers. We actually know everything about the car. We knew more about the car than they did, to be honest.
It was literally, though, like, here's the key and there's our lift. See ya.
Yeah.
Like, that was it.
That was exactly how it went. She didn't even tell us anything about the car. And there was one part about the car that I didn't even know about. This little plastic thing on the driver's side. I was like, what is this? Did she forget to take this off? And we
thought it was part of like the dealership thing or whatever.
Yeah. We thought that's where they put the like
sticker.
And then we finally found out on Reddit. Thank God we have Reddit nowadays in public forums. That's where, in Europe, Europeans like putting parking tickets there. So they have this little clip thing where you can clip your parking,
like your parking ticket or your valet ticket or whatever.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
And it's not very common in the US. And it's cheap. That thing was so cheap. It feels like a residue plastic thing that, like they forgot to take off on the warehouse.
I tried to take it off. Yeah.
Yeah, we tried to peel it off. Don't pull
that.
Don't pull that stuff off. That's not it. Oh, break. You're not supposed to break that. That is part of the car. Anyway, nobody explained to us any of that. That was the only thing about the car that we didn't know, because I think this was a 2022 model one. 2021 models didn't have that. Anyway, so we got the car. We're like, okay, finally, we can actually go out. We were hungry as hell.
Yeah.
We were waiting the whole day. And so we went out to dinner. And let's check out this next clip.
That one shot of her signing the paperwork, because the 2 reps that came needed to hightail out of here.
They were in and they were out.
In a lift.
They called the lift. See, I was right. I won the bet.
Yeah. They called the lift. It was probably like 20 minutes.
It was like 20 minutes, yeah.
Can't really do a car inspection because it's pitch black already, because they came, after sunset. But they said take some pictures of any damage or anything, and then, we'll talk about this in a bit. But we got the car.
It's here.
We got the car. So I just realized something really funny, right? So Lida and I just got the car, and we went out for dinner because, we've been waiting the whole freaking day. And then I realized I had this in my pocket. She didn't take the deposit for the car. I mean, the down payment for the car. She totally forgot about the down payment for the car and gave us the car. So now Lida is calling our rep, and we got to figure this out. This is the weirdest experience I've ever had. I don't know what to say.
Never had a delivery experience like this.
Imagine going to a dealership and you wrote your check, and you know how dealerships love money, right? And instead of them taking your money, they're just like, here's the car. Go ahead, leave. You don't need to pay us. You don't need to put this down payment. What's a down payment at all, right? Like,
they were in such a rush to leave that they just were like, okay, bye.
Forgot the money. I have never seen this before. And it's not that we didn't. I mean, some situations it makes sense to put 0 down, right? Some situations it makes sense to put 0 down. It doesn't make sense to put a lot of money down. We put some money down, right? I wrote the check. I had it in my pocket.
We had it ready.
I was waiting to give it to her. I didn't give her the check. She never asked for the check. They never asked for any of it, and they just left. They were like, okay, you signed the paperwork. That's great. And then they actually forgot to get a couple signatures too, that the next day we had to sign online. It was just bizarre. It was just bizarre. So anyway, with this money thing, how did we give them their money?
So after, as you saw in the clip, after Alex realized that, oh, we didn't give them any money, I called our rep, who was, I assume, in her lift,
yeah,
on the way back to LA, and I said, "Hey, you didn't take the money." There were a couple words that came out of her mouth, just a few. And ultimately, she ended up having to create an invoice online for us to pay through credit card.
Yes. So I paid the down payment using my credit card. So I got the points, which I'm very happy with. Yeah. Originally, you're not supposed to do that. It's a check.
Yeah.
Your policy is usually a cashier's check or a person note check. But because she really needed the money, she was like, it was literally, we're like, okay, maybe we'll do it when we get home. She was like, can you do it now? We were just sitting, waiting for our table at our restaurant. And we're like, okay, just give me the phone. Let me type it in.
Between the Tesla delivery experience and the Polestar delivery experience, what was your kind of thought process between the two of them? Because I felt like it was great having our rep and being able to contact her, but at the same time, I felt like she had way too many hats on and that there was just way too much going on.
Yeah. She was overwhelmed for sure. Like you can tell the minute she came in, an 8-hour delivery prior to us. I mean, it probably would drain anybody. And she didn't want to work past 5. And I don't blame her. It was a Saturday.
Yeah.
And she was supposed to be out of our house by like 2.
Yeah.
And she didn't even get here until 6.
And of course, there was traffic going back to LA. So
right.
Understandable.
So look, I totally understand. But if you're asking me like which one was a better experience for us regarding Tesla and the Polestar, look, our Tesla experience was horrible. It was not smooth at all. Watch that video. I mean, that video was one of our most popular videos in 2019, the first couple months of 2019. But the thing is, with Tesla, it felt professional.
Right.
When you got there at their delivery center, and the way they presented you the car, right? I understand Polestar is not the same. You pick up the car at the Volvo the lot, but the way Tesla did it, they presented the car to you. They had a tutorial, a demo to show you how to use the car. And I do know, we're on Reddit as well. I have seen people talk about how Tesla delivers it to your house, and they just drop the car off and get out of there too. So there could be this like thing about home deliveries that just aren't good. However, the way that the Polestar 2 was presented to us was very unprofessional, very, very C-lister. For a $60,000 valued car from a company that's supposed to be a luxury brand, it was just amateurish, if any.
I kept thinking about, what if it was our parents, or what if it was someone who had never purchased an EV before, and how that experience would be for them. Like, you would have no idea how to use your car.
Yeah. Someone who doesn't know anything about charging and was expecting the rep to tell them, how to do this, how to do that. No, nothing. At least in our experience here, there was nothing. Signed the paperwork and they got out of there on the lift in 20 minutes. And you're absolutely right, because you and I are very savvy about EVs. I mean, we have this channel. We've gone through this before. We grew up these last 5 years or so with EVs in our family, in our, workplaces and stuff like that. But like our parents or like my sister, they're very reluctant to move to the EV space. And if this is their first exposure to it, they'd be so confused. You see all those memes about people pulling up their Teslas at a gas station thinking that they need to plug in with the gas hose. This is what would happen if they delivered it to someone like my parents, who might have thought, hey, the Polestar is from Volvo, so that means it's from Volvo. It must be a good luxury brand that we trust. They're going to never go electric ever again if they go through this. But yeah, the Polestar 2 itself, the car itself, is actually a pretty good car. We're actually liking it a lot right now. It's not too bad. But this experience is just deterring for, I could see it for a lot of people. But yeah, that does it for us in this video. I'm Alex, that's Lida. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let us know in the comments what you would like us to talk about with the Polestar 2. There's so much to discuss. And whatever you guys want us to discuss about that car and also our Model 3 and compare them or whatever, let us know in the comments below. We will check out those comments and try to do whatever we can to help you make your informed decision.
We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
The other day, my house was leaking. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do about this. I'm a tech guy. I only know tech. So how do I fix that? And then you subscribed and you fixed it. So thank you.